Supply and demand. Hello and welcome to another video on Economics 101. In this video, we will learn about the principles of supply and demand. Real-life examples of the effect supply and demand can cause. Let's get right into the video. Supply and demand is derived from the classical economic theory of Adam Smith. The law of supply and demand is one of the most basic and fundamental principles of economics. It is the cornerstone of a free market economy. The law is based on the observation that, in general, price and quantity demanded in a given market are inversely related. Adam Smith was an 18th-century Scottish economist, philosopher, and author who is considered the father of modern economics. He is best known for his work, The Wealth of Nations. In this work, Smith argues that the free market is the most efficient way to allocate resources, and that government intervention should be limited to ensuring that the market is free from coercion and fraud. More about him in another video. Well, we established that Adam Smith came up with the supply and demand theory in the late 1700s. Although there are people who disagree with Adam Smith about supply and demand, they may believe that other factors, such as production costs or government intervention, are more important in determining prices. But it is well established that supply and demand is not just a theory but more a law. But what are his supply and demand? For starters, supply and demand is an economic market price determination model. It postulates that in a competitive market, the unit price for a particular good or other traded items such as labor or liquid financial assets will vary until it settles at a point where the quantity demanded at the current price will equal the quantity supplied at the current price, resulting in an equilibrium for price and quantity transacted. In simpler words, supply and demand is an economic model that describes the relationship between the availability of a good or service and the desire of consumers for that good or service. So we can say it is used to determine the price of a good or service based on the interaction of the two forces. An example of a shortage in October 1973, the Organization of Arab Petroleum Exporting Countries announced an embargo on oil exports to the United States and the Netherlands in retaliation for their support of Israel during the Yom Kippur War. The embargo caused a major oil shock, with oil prices quadrupling by the end of the year. The embargo also led to oil shortages and rationing in the US and Europe, as well as long lines at gas stations. The oil crisis had a significant impact on the global economy, with many countries going into recession. It also had a lasting impact on energy policy, with many countries investing in alternative energy sources and energy efficiency. This is a great example of how a shortage can cause prices and even investments to change. On the other side of things, we have the Arab Spring in 2011 as an example of an increase in demand that has affected the world economy. The protests and subsequent political changes in the Middle East and North Africa have led to higher oil prices, as well as increased demand for goods and services in the region. And now you understand the law of supply and demand. If you'd like to learn more about economics, subscribe and press the like button. Please write down in the comment section if you would like to learn more about the economic concepts of Adam Smith. And of course, we will see you at the next one.